Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. Just telling you that the best way to actually make money all around, and especially in a sideways or even bearish market, is not to try to time the top. In fact, stop trying to time the top and play leverage or options or margins. That's just going to get you wrecked because you're going to get liquidated. Several of you have already complained to me that you actually gotten liquidated. And if you yield farm, there's very little chance of you getting liquidated. Yes, there is impermanent loss, but guess what? If the market dips 5%, you don't get liquidated. If you leverage 20x and the market dips 5%, you get liquidated. Or if you short on 20x and the market goes up 5%, you also get liquidated. So let's take that possibility of getting liquidated on a 5-10% move out. If you yield farm and the market dips 5%, if you're yield farming on a USDC or USDT pair, you might have an impermanent loss, which you can just gain back. If you're yield farming on two crypto pairs, it might not actually matter. As long as your crypto pair doesn't go to zero, you're not going to lose all your money and you're not going to get liquidated. You have to be wary of getting pulled, a rug pulled by a smart contract. So I wouldn't target the yield farming protocols that are like 5,000-6,000% or more. I would target the yield farmings that are maybe 1 or 200% that are kind of like starting. I would lock it in for a while and yield farm there. Remember, a lot of these sideways movements last like 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So if you yield farm for 6 months at like 100% or something, you're already getting 50% more. And then when it goes up, you just have 50% more profits. Now, I will say the higher APR you actually yield farm with, the more often you should actually cash out your profits. Because like if you're yield farming at several thousand%, there's a pretty good chance that sooner or later that thing's gonna rug pull. But if you're like yield farming, a lot of the pairs that I'm actually looking at like 100%, they can actually sustain like that and slightly go down over time. Like I've been farming the VEX VET pair that started at like 200 something percent, but over 2 months it has come down to like 65%, which is a lot more sustainable. So you got to look for yield pairs that have been there for a while and maybe don't have like super high APRs, but reasonably high APRs that you can actually yield farm for profit for a longer term. So yield farming is much, much better than leverage. In that terms, because there's very little chance of actually getting liquidated. Like if you lose 5%, you don't get liquidated, you just lose 5%, but you're also getting passive income, which actually can pile up. So like much, much less risk than like, let's say leverage margins or futures. But also like the rewards can be just as big, especially if you're in a high yield leverage farm, because you're generally generating reward tokens. And the thing is like, when you actually cash out the reward tokens to your wallet, if that reward token happens to go up in price, then your earnings went up a lot in price. Like with VEX VET, if you bought in at like 180 and you farmed several hundred coins and now they're like $3 now, not only do you have the massive APR that you yield farmed, but your coins are actually worth a lot more now, like mine are. So I've been able to make a couple $1,000 just yield farming VEX VET, and that's not even the best yield farm out there. I just happened to have a lot of VET at the time. I was like, you know what? Why not yield farm it? So right now, if you're looking to buy a new investment, just to hold, don't buy like protocols that don't have yield farming. Like don't buy BTC, don't buy XRP, don't even buy Chainlink right now. I like Chainlink a lot actually, but Chainlink doesn't really have a yield farming pair and you can't get passive income that way. And yes, while some of these do offer staking doesn't get you the same APR. It's safer, but it doesn't get you the same APR that some of the passive income things do. Like I wouldn't go for Doge. I really wouldn't go for Doge. I wouldn't go for Chainlink right now. Wouldn't go for Litecoin. And I wouldn't go for like a lot of these others right now because they don't actually have staking. I would go for things like ETH, even though I would avoid it because it has large fees. BNB, Solana, although the DDoS attacks give me pause. ADA, like if you want to yield farm, I would wait until the yield farming actually comes out. Terra Luna, Polygon, near stuff that actually has like good yield farming. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Like obviously I've been farming on V Exchange. The VEX price is 302. I bought in at like 180 something and I've made about 450 VEX, which is, it's like $1,350, but I only have a couple $1,000 in here. in this pool. So I've made a good amount just in the month and a half, 2 months I've actually been farming the VEX. But it's only at 65% right now. And it's actually come down from about 280 at the beginning. It came down really, really fast at the beginning. And it's actually like going down very, very slow now. So it might stabilize around 60 APR. And, if a bank offered 60% interest and it wasn't a rug pull, I think everyone would invest in that bank. So 64% interest. If you farm for like 5 months, you get like 30%, 30% of your original. Plus, like, you still have your original. And then like you just wait for a bull market, it pumps back up, you get your original plus the new VEX that you have. So that's actually a really, really good farm. The other protocols you might want to look at are VVS Finance, and this is on CRO or Kronos. And some of the pairs you might want to look at are, I would look at the CRO VVS. That one's pretty good. There's actually 163 million staked in there. The multiplier is 40. That's pretty good. You can do VVS USDC or VVS USDT. I would just go ahead and do the USDC if you're actually doing the VVS. USDC USDT is very, very intriguing because the APR is only 11.4, but USDC USDT has no chance whatsoever of like impermanent loss. They're both at $1, unless you really think Tether's going to go kaput, which I don't really think it is. So VVS Finance, definitely Crystal Farms. That's one really you want to look at. There's some really good APRs in here. I would probably go with the VVS CRO, but you could do VVS USDC or VVS USDT for even greater gains. Meyer Exchange has actually been one of my favorites. I would actually look at earning like maybe MEX, LK MEX, or actually like for the LP farms, I would do like eGold, the eGold MEX LP farm. And this one is actually pretty good. Now there's two percentages. You can actually get an APR of 18% or you can lock in for 265%. However, if you're locked in, your coins are stuck for X amount of time. If you don't lock, you can take them out at any time. But I honestly, if I was going to look at this, I would definitely lock in because I think the 265% is actually worth locking for. So that's Elrond and Meyer. The way that you would yield farm is you have to get one of these wallets. You have to connect to the DEX. You have to buy the LP tokens and then assign them to a pool. So just get something compatible. Get some Elrond, get some MEX, and start yield staking. You can get 265% right now. Or if you want Elrond USDC, you can get 192%. So right now we have VeChain, VVS Finance, and Elrond Meyer. I also want to show you Radium Farm, and this is the one on Solana. If you don't want to farm on Solana, that's fine. There's plenty of other options. But right now, if I were to farm on Solana, I would probably just go for the Radium Serum LP or the Radium Solana LP. I would probably go for the Radium Serum LP just because the total APR is 58.90. And the TVL is not too bad at all. There is also the bot USDC LP, and the total APR is 569. But the total value locked there is only 191. It's very, very unstable. So I definitely wouldn't do that. I probably wouldn't do any of these small ones. There's just not that much locked in there. I would definitely go for like one with like $65-66 million locked in there. So Radium Ethereum LP, Radium Serum LP. That's the one I would actually go for. So there's like 4 options right there for you. There are a lot more options. There's Anchor Protocol and Terra Luna and a bunch of others. If you're looking for just like DeFi protocols to actually farm on, you can actually go to chains right here on DeFiLlama.com, and it'll show you the top chains with the top TVL. Pick any of them. They're going to be fine. I would suggest Terra, BSC, Avalanche, Phantom, Polygon, and Kronos. Those are the ones I would actually look at. I'm staking VET because I've been involved in VET for a while, and it's doing me pretty well. But those are the ones I would actually look at right now for the big DeFi yield farming. So that's how you like DeFi yield farm. I've given you a couple of big DeFi yield farms. It is definitely the way to go right now because like the derivatives, the margins, the leverage is way, way too risky. More people get liquidated and wiped out than not. And it's very, very easy to get wiped out. I know there's a lot of YouTubers promoting the leverage stuff. I definitely would not listen to that because, they get commission fees. I am not affiliated with really any of these businesses. I don't get any commission fees for referring you to the yield farm. And plus, uh, the yield farms aren't really looking to liquidate anyone. Just be careful with the smart contracts. Be very wary of APRs in the 4 digits because those are likely to be rug pulls. Be smart about it, but instead of going options, derivatives, or leverage, just do one of these for a couple of months and gain a lot of rewards essentially for free. May not make you as much as if you hit a grand slam with leverage trading at 50x, but you won't strike out nearly as many times either. It's much more solid, it's much more safe, and you'll sleep better at night too. So check it out, and it's definitely a winner. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.